Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my kitchen and welcome to the sink. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to clean greens or how Bernardo cleaned greens. It's Thanksgiving week, and I thought this would be a great time to share this recipe or this preparation method that we had posted to Bernardo's Facebook page in 2015. But I thought it would be helpful if I actually showed you the steps on how to do this recipe. So I'm going to start off with spinach. Also, I'm going to call to your attention, of course, Bernardo's love of spinach. Also, sweet potatoes. I'm not going to get into sweet potato preparation today. But it is Thanksgiving, and things like collard greens and sweet potatoes and spinach and kale are things that you're going to see at your Thanksgiving table. So I'll just start off by saying or reading from chapter 8 from Beyond 100, How to Live Well into Your Second Century. The great thing about spinach, which we all seem to detest as kids, is that it tastes better as we age. Moreover, it helps you maintain your vision. And given that your eyesight is your view of the world, you should do everything to protect it. I use spinach all the time. I saute it with onions and garlic. It tastes great and is good for you. I have found that B vitamins in sweet potatoes or in spinach salad can help you beat the blues. Both are rich in folate and vitamin B6. They work by keeping your brain's neurotransmitters in balance. These chemicals control whether you feel depressed and anxious or have a clear and healthy mind. You would be happy to have them in your diet. So that's from page 30 from Beyond 100, How to Live Free. Oh, I should introduce myself. My name, I'm Bernardo's granddaughter, and I maintain his legacy. So, one of the things I learned from my grandfather, just hanging around with him in the kitchen, is how to clean greens. Now, here today, I've got a bunch of spinach that I picked up at the farmer's market yesterday. I always prefer to go to the farmer's market to get fresh greens as opposed to packaged greens. But whatever greens you get, you want to make sure that you clean them thoroughly. So if you're getting them from the farmer's market, you are going to notice that they can be quite full of silt, full of dirt. But there is a trick on how to get rid of that very easily. So here I've got a big old bowl. I'm going to put the greens in it, and I am going to turn on the water. Turn on the cool water, and I'm going to let that fill up. See if I can get a better view. There, well, kind of. Okay. And here I have got some sea salt. This common sea salt. So one day when I was hanging out with my grandfather and he was cleaning, preparing the greens, I saw him put salt in the water just as I have done now. And I said, "Hey, Grandpa, why are you putting salt in there? What's that for?" He said, "Oh, that's to help clean the spinach, because what the salt does is that it draws all the dirt and all the silt down to the bottom. It actually drags the dirt and debris off the spinach. So this is a wonderful way to clean it and to make sure that you get all that grit out of it, because there's nothing more unpleasant than eating spinach and then having that sand taste on your teeth, right? You certainly don't want to serve it to your guests that way. So I'm going to get a big colander. It's a big mega colander here. So I'm going to do a transfer in a second. This is the first step when you're going to be preparing greens for your Thanksgiving table. There is no lard, there is no pork in this recipe. Bernardo did not use pork or lard in his greens to flavor anything. Also, you may be wondering what I'm going to do with these stems. So, my grandfather always used to say that time, testing, taste, and above all, economy were the keys to running a successful kitchen. And that also applies to you in your home kitchen. So what you can do, or what we did, or what we do still, is that these stems right here that you might normally throw away in the trash, don't throw them away in the trash. Clip them, save them. Let's see, do you see what I'm doing here? Let me see, can I see what I'm doing here? There we go. Save them, and you can use these to make soup stock out of them. Just make sure they're clean, drain them, and then put them in a container or put them in a bag and put them in the freezer and freeze them. And then when you're ready, you can use this as a base for soup stock. So I'm going to finish clipping the bottom of this spinach here. Save the stalks. Also, another thing Bernardo would do is that if he had, broccoli stems, he would save the broccoli stems. You can cut kind of the tough exterior off them, and he would use that to juice. So why go to the store and buy something for something that you already have at home? You're going to save yourself time, and you're going to save yourself money, and you're going to preserve those nutrients the way you want to. All right, so I'm giving these a good rinse. Put these in the colander, and then I'm going to show you what this water looks like. Set these to the side for right now. Okay, let me see if I can give you a look at this water. So you can see here that this water is dirty. It is gray, and that's from all the silt. And as I pour the water out, see all that silt? You see that? Silt at the bottom? Yep, so all that dirt that was on your spinach is now at the bottom of the bowl, along with the salt. So I'm going to rinse this out, because I like to make sure that my spinach is really, really going to be clean, right? It's generally a rule of thumb that when you are cleaning something that you want to do it at least 3 times. So I'm going to put this back here. There we go. And I am going to refill this bowl with fresh water. I don't think I'm going to have to add any additional salt to this one. Good morning, Brother Danubian. I don't think I'm going to have to add any additional salt to this one because this wasn't the dirtiest bunch of spinach. I have, and I'm sure you have, found bunches of spinach which were pretty silty, pretty filthy. Sometimes the farmer doesn't have time to do the rinsing for you. Of course, you can buy packaged spinach like that where the farmer has done that extra work for you. It'll usually cost you a little bit more money, but I prefer to do these things myself because I want to make sure it's done right. And even if you get something from someone else, there's always human error. You should always just double check. I got the spinach in here. This is cold water, by the way. You do not want to wash your spinach in hot water. No. That's going to be for later. It's going to use heat later when you are going to cook everything. But right now, the only thing I want to do is make sure that this spinach is rinsed thoroughly. Back in the colander. See, Now look at this. Again, I'm going to take another look. See, now it's much clearer. It's much clearer. I'm going to drain it. Do I see any silt on the bottom? Nope, this looks like a clean batch. But nope, actually, look, there is still a little silt. You see that? There's a little silt, but much less. Now there's actually a little silt right there. You see that? But much, much less. And you can see at the bottom of the drain, you can see that there's that silt there. So that's why it's the rule of thumb that you always do things at least 3 times. You know, you're washing beans, you're washing rice, you're washing vegetables, anything like that, you want to do it at least 3 times. So, okay, we put this camera down here. Thank you for bearing with me. It's my dog barking in the background. Okay, see if I can make this angle a little tad better. Okay, good. I'm glad you see it. Okay, so I'm going to put the spinach back in. This is the 3rd time I'm doing the rinse. And just for good measure, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more sea salt. Because I'm going to be showing you guys later how to make this really great blended green recipe that Bernardo used to make. So he used to, you can use any green vegetable you have. If you have a combination of vegetables, you can do that too. But I just wanted to show you the first step on how to do the spinach. So I'm going to show you this because later on, these are collard greens. This is a very common thing you find at Thanksgiving dinner. Usually they're cooked to death. We're not going to cook these to death. We're going to keep the nutrients in them. There's no point in pouring the nutrients down the drain, right? So collard greens and also kale, right? Classic kale. So you can do, you can use a couple of these green vegetables and combine them together, or you can just do one. It's entirely up to you. That's a question of personal taste. All right, so now I got the spinach in here, the salt is in here, moving it around a little bit. I want to make sure it's clean. Now I'm going to put everything back in the colander. And that's my dog barking like crazy because the mailman's coming probably. And let's take a look. And now the water is clear. 3rd time the charm. So there you go. Now if you happen to have plants outside, you could also save that water. And you could do a little watering and conservation of water that way. All right, so now we have got beautiful, clean spinach that we are going to be using later to do a demo for the blended green vegetables, which kind of a puree that Bernardo used to make around the holidays. Okay, I'll see you all later.